A few years back, I had an epiphany. I was losing the fun in hunting. I'd become too obsessed with filling tags, too focused on the kill, and my larger hunting experience suffered. Fortunately, I caught myself, and I realized that I needed to get back to enjoying the process, people, landscape, and animals. So, with that in mind, I've planned to kick off this season with a very different kind of trip. An upper Midwest road trip to visit good friends and special places. And I'm kicking it off in the Boundary Waters region of northern Minnesota. And I'm joined by my friend and sportsman for the Boundary Waters Executive Director, Lukas, and Scott Sorenson, owner of the Fly Box Fly Shop. From there, I'll head south to join my pal Doug Duren for an early season whitetail trip. This is going to be fun.
So on my way up here, I was thinking about how, in past years, Scott, I approached deer hunting trips as almost like a military mission and just like had one goal in mind and that was all that mattered, and you chased it with relentless force, and there was never time to, I felt bad if I would go out to lunch with my buddies. I'd feel bad if I, for any reason took a break or didn't give 2,000%. I certainly would not have said, I could do some fishing before I go hunting. So this is a very significant change from my usual MO, but it's feeling good. Like, it's feeling like diversity and experience is a pretty darn nice way to do it.
So you could still be intense and hunt and in the moment when you're hunting, but you're saying that you've changed a little bit to do some other things.
I love hunting. I love hunting. But it's like a big, slow build towards something that takes a long time to get to that point. Fishing is just like pure dopamine button, dopamine button, dopamine button when it's on, Here we go. Fish on.
There you go.
Okay. Nice. In the bag. What all is in the works here?
So we're doing a chanterelle mushroom gravy. So they're cooking down in some onion and garlic and actually some dried herb mix that my sister brought back from our family in Poland.
Wow.
Which is kind of fun. I just brought it with because I remembered she gave me some. And the chanterelles are from Scott's property. We're gonna do a really simple, like creamy polenta, and then we're gonna sear up that backstrap that you brought and just boom, 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 serve it right over each other.
It's gonna be good.
That's my favorite.
I love that.
Yeah, really the Boundary Waters just kind of shaped me into the outdoorsman that I am. I mean, coming up here, experiencing like spring opener trips, like you run the gambit of weather, right? It's like, I've been snowed on, rain, sleet, 40 to 70 degrees in one day, right? Like, it's a really cool experience, but it also made me just kind of fall in love with the experience, right?
Yeah.
So from there, I just branched off and started doing other things. And, when I got into cooking,
I've met a lot of good folks, and just with wild game and foraging and hunting and fishing and conservation just ended up, making sense after. But one of the big things I always tell people is, my dad always calls, like, especially a Boundary Waters trip, like going to church.
Yeah.
So it's like, I always make sure that I hold that true and reiterate that to people, because I think it's a cool thing to hold on to and to follow.
Mm-hmm. Man, I couldn't agree more. And I feel like your experience is probably common for so many other people. You fall in love with these places and these things, and they give you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Inevitably, you end up wanting to give something back. Well, I got up early this morning and said goodbye to Lukas and Scott. Unfortunately, didn't have more time up there, but that was a blast. Loved every moment of that. Catching fish, eating good food, hanging out by the campfire next to a lake. Can't beat that. But onward, and now heading on for part 2 of the adventure. I am heading to Wisconsin to meet up with my buddy Doug Duren. And we've been talking about hunting together for years. It just hasn't worked out, but the stars aligned this year. So I'm going to be there shortly and hoping to get there in time to hunt this evening and just have a good time over the next week or so, helping out on the farm and maybe getting on a deer or two. So that's the game plan.
Hey,
Mr.
you made
Duren.
it, man.
Hey,
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Boy, it's great to have you here.
thank you so much.
So, first thing I got to say though is, you got to turn around back in. And I left this spot open for you. I thought it'd be obvious. Anyway, we all back in and have our vehicles pointing straight out, so because you never know when you're going to have to leave in a hurry.
See, I just thought last time we were together at the back 40 when I hosted you there, I was so gracious and tried not to give you all these rules and specifics. Now already you're giving me crap about how I park.
Well, technically you didn't own the back 40.
No, that's true. I was a squatter. Always a squatter.
No, that's great. The movement's been good early in the morning and early in the evening. So during the light, from what I've seen on the cameras, but I'm not going to share any of that with you.
Yeah, I love the fact that number one, I'm not hunting on your main farm, not hunting your farm, so I can't cheat by going back and watching old episodes or anything.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the fact that you're allowing me to hunt nearby and still have the ability to figure stuff out on my own, because I love that puzzle.
Yeah,
Like trying to read the maps and scout my way in and figure it all out. So I'm excited about that. But I wouldn't mind, looking at the map and like giving you some ideas and see if, if it sounds on track or anything like that.
Oh yeah. This ridge all comes down to a point down here, and this ridge has got mixed hardwoods, but there's some really nice stands of oak in there.
Yeah.
And the acorns are just hitting the ground right now.
You mentioned there's apple trees somewhere. Would you be willing to tell me where apple trees are?
Yeah, there's right through this bottom.
Down there.
That one, in fact, that right there is an apple tree.
Stands out.
Yeah, it stands out. It's by itself, yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you, part of what I talk about with the whole sharing the land idea is making a contribution to conservation. And around here, taking a doe or two is a contribution to conservation. Now, you can shoot whatever you want, but doe walks by, stick an arrow in her.
I feel like right now my plan is like mornings, gonna try to focus on does, and evenings focus on maybe getting a buck. But if I get a buck, then it'll be doe patrol.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think that's
But
a great plan. Yeah.
I'll make sure to pay my dues. Just been sitting here since I got set up, with my wheels spinning in my head, thinking, you got it too late, or the wind's not quite right, or you should have sat somewhere else. And I just kind of had an epiphany right now that it's opening day. We should
celebration. It's the first day of the season. Who cares? It's good to be in a tree. So I'm making a reset, hit the reset button right now.
My greatest frustration from night one is that I couldn't see as much of the area as I'd wanted. Having never hunted this property before, I need to learn more, and I need to learn fast.
So this hillside, north facing on a day like today, I see deer lay in there quite a bit. I mean, like when I drive through there, like when I'm mowing the trails or, knocking down brush, and they'll literally lay there and watch me drive by.
You drive around here all the time, relatively, right? Driving around, checking on things, managing the farm. Like, would you say the deer are pretty used to you just driving your Can-Am all over?
They will let me drive by them and not get up with the tractor or the Can-Am, but if I'm walking in there, they get up and move.
Yeah. So would you be willing to drive me back in here to this area? I'm thinking about setting up a stand for the morning, and instead of me going in there blind in the middle of the dark and trying to find something, what if we just drive in there and you keep the Can-Am running and I just slip off it, run up, hang some sticks, get a tree prepped, find the right tree, and then they're just thinking you're the farmer hanging out, and then I'll jump back in the Can-Am and we just finish off that drive, and then I can also see what the rest of that looks like in there.
I think that.
And maybe either decide whether I want to hang an evening stand somewhere up here or not, or I would love to understand what's going on here better.
Yeah, and we can't really do it with, we can get a really good idea with this, but I think it's really important for you to see that.
Okay.
And that's the best, going up there with the Can-Am is the best way of seeing it.
When we come to the apple trees we discussed earlier, I immediately recognize that this is the spot. Attractive food, surrounded by cover, and located in a transition back towards bedding. It's perfect.
I feel like this is just what I needed. I'm ready if you want to head back, I'm good.
Yeah, we'll drive down the ridge here. This is a pretty typical route that I'll take, just as we like to say, going out and having a look around.
Yep.
Alright, I'm just sneaking up here. Second night, and I'm going to get to the top of the hill again. The way this farm lays is basically all the field edges that lead to the bedding areas are very low. So you just can't see anything once you get down there. So if I pick the wrong little pocket, I won't have any idea what's going on around the rest of the field. And right now, having zero knowledge of really what's happening here, that's not a good way to get a good, smart ambush location located. So I'm leaning right now towards trying to set more of an observation stand tonight, and then having 2 more days after that with just more to work with. So I'm gonna slip up here the rest of the way, do a little glassing, consider what the views will be, and go from there. First deer of the night is out in the field. Other side, at the end of the point, looks like a small doe. Well, the switch just flipped. I saw that first deer. And then at the very next, second later, I look out over the other field, other side of the field. 3 does came out over there. And then it clips down this way, down the alley for me. 3 more does crossed there, so the spigot just got open and they're all flooding out now. Really nice buck just stepped out maybe 10 minutes ago. Big 9-pointer, along with a batch group of 3 other little bucks. So that's what I'm looking for. And now I pinpoint exactly where all these bucks have been off this point, one of the main points. He's a stud. yards away now, but I'm pretty much out of shooting light. Really awesome to see him. I'm pretty excited. Now I gotta figure out how to get out of here without spooking him.
With a mature buck sighted, I finally feel like I've got something to work with, and I know exactly where I want to be tomorrow evening. But first, I need to fulfill my promise to Doug to help with doe management. The apple tree location sets up perfect for this in the morning.
Alright, it's the morning of day 3, and I'm about to head in to that apple tree set I hung yesterday at midday, which, man, that looked really good, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to be on doe patrol with this hunt, and then tonight go back after that buck on the other side of the farm. It's a really cool setup. It's this kind of draw that extends down into standing cornfield, but back up in this draw it's very brushy, bunch of alders and who knows what else. But the best thing is that there are a few apple trees, so I'm set up in range of the biggest and the most, the heaviest mass producing apple tree down here. There's bedding up all around behind me, so my hope is that I'm going to catch deer coming up the draw, heading to bed, hitting this apple tree on their way. Some people get a little bit unsure about whether or not you should shoot a doe that has fawns with her. And I've wondered about that sometimes too. But a lot of different biologists I've talked to have confirmed that as long as a doe or as long as a fawn makes it to the fall, it'll be self-sustaining, and they almost always get picked up by other doe groups, and they just latch on to them and continue. So, in this case, in a situation like this where there's way too many deer and disease issues, you just have to manage does anytime you can. If you never shot a doe with fawns, you would never shoot does out here probably, so I wanted to stick it out here a little while longer just in case a buck came through, but nothing did, so I'm gonna pack up and head down there, grab the arrow, and pick up the blood trail. The shot looked really good, and I'm pretty sure I heard her crash, so I think she should be just down in that bottom. So, I'm gonna pick up the first blood trail of the year. There's a dead deer over here. There is. Didn't shoot up. I mean, is that? I just don't think there's any way this could be. But it's not. It hasn't been sitting here very long. Dude, that's my doe. Holy smokes.
Wow, I've never seen coyotes get on a deer so fast and so thoroughly. Never seen anything like it. Unreal. Hey, Mr. Duren.
Hey, Mark. Your text.
Yeah, I've got a good news, bad news situation for you.
What do you want to give me first?
The good news is I shot a doe.
Okay, great.
Real nice doe, perfect double long hit. The bad news is I got on the blood trail about, I don't know, hour and 15 minutes ago, something like that. And just found her a few minutes ago, and she is completely demolished by coyotes already.
You're kidding me. I can, let me finish something up and I'll meet you, I guess I should just meet you back at the farm, huh?
Yep, that's fine with me. I'm just gonna run down there, grab the head, and then come back. So I'll probably be back to the farm in 15, 20 minutes maybe.
Great, and we can, we'll do the submitting for testing and everything, go through that process.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, buddy.
All right, thanks, Doug.
Bye.
See ya. I'm both shocked and disappointed by how quickly coyotes got on my doe, but there's still important work to be done. In an area of high chronic wasting disease prevalence, it's critical to test as many deer as possible. So I lop off the head and bring it to the CWD testing drop-off station that Doug has set up on his farm. When this is done, it's time for one last project to fulfill my end of the bargain through Doug's Sharing the Land program.
You know, the land needs us. It needs us to help manage it, and landowners need help. And people who are going to access that land get the opportunity to come and help, and you learn a little bit about it, and we get some projects done.
Yeah.
And it's a nice exchange, and it's a nice way of being able to contribute to the property that you're working on, and develop, in the bigger sense, develop a relationship with people. I mean, obviously you and I have known each other, but in sharing land, this is where the landowner and the access seeker get to know each other.
Yes,
Nothing like shared suffering to get to know each other.
Getting close on time for the hunt.
Yeah, take the Can-Am back up, leave the tools, you can leave the saw over there by the hole. I'll just finish a little bit of cleanup here, and if there's more to do tomorrow, I'll get you back down here tomorrow.
Sounds good.
If not, we can shovel some in the morning.
That sounds like a good time. All right, see you, Doug.
Bye. Go get that buck.
I'll try.
All right, so the big deal maker or breaker right now is what's the wind gonna do? And it's very low, and it's not a very good wind direction for me to safely hunt up here where those bucks were. So I'm just trying to decide, you know, what I can get away with, and if I can trust the wind direction, or if it's gonna die out, and I'm gonna have to, you know, depend on the thermals. It actually might be better if that does happen, because the thermals, I think, could pull down my wind behind me on this corner and maybe make it work. If the wind does stay the way it's predicted, and if it stays strong, it might blow out towards where those deer are, so.
With the big buck sighting from last night still fresh on my mind, I slip in and set up in a new tree. Unfortunately, the bucks are a no-show. I'm down to one more day, and a rainy one at that. I'm headed back to the apple tree.
Alright, it's the last day, and not exactly ideal, but it's been pouring rain so far this morning. But wanted to get out of here anyways, because, you know, once this rain lightens up and moves through, it very well could have deer on their feet a little bit later in the morning. So I'm back here in the apple tree stand, and hoping that, you know, a buck will roll through and get a little snack before bed. I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope for some Wednesday magic. That's why you come and hunt in the rain. Just kind of having the adrenaline dump right now. Shaking like crazy. Can't believe that just happened. I looked at the footage and that shot is back. So, not ideal on that front, but I'm pretty confident it's a dead deer. I just gotta sneak out of here and give it time. And, yeah, I'm still at a loss for words.
With the hit being back, there's only one thing to do. Sneak out, give the deer time, and come back later. As an insurance policy, I've called a friend of Doug's with a tracking dog to help too.
Be honest, I'm nervous as heck all day. Just been like kind of upset stomach and constant tension. But you know, when you hit a deer back like this, you just have to wait because it's going to take a little while. They'll usually run off a little ways, bed down, and as long as you don't spook them too soon, they'll usually die right there and you can find them relatively easily. But if you push them too soon, it's going to be really hard to keep up with them and find them again.
I'm just gonna stay about 10-15 yards behind Tyler and let the dog do his job.
Seeing nothing and nothing's happening except for the dog is working. I'm hearing good boy. I'm hearing good boy. Yes. Cujo. Thank you, Cujo.
Good boy. Go get it. Go get it, buddy. Go get it.
Oh,
You can
man,
get it.
look at that buck.
Good boy. Stay off his front. You know better. Yep. Back exit right there. Good boy.
What do you think about that?
Get him, Cujo. I can't. That's a nice one. He's really nice.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. That bloody bed we found is right up there. It's just
That's awesome. He's been dead a while too. A drop tine, a sticker off his G2, big old thick neck, and he's got a hole in his antler, Doug. A big hollow hole on the inside. I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was a happy ending after all. This whole thing of trying to enjoy the experience more and not stressing out so much. It's funny now, last year and now this year, the more I do that, the more actual success in the deer world I have too. I am thankful. I'm kind of still in shock. And I'm having a lot of fun.
I knew we were going to find him all along.
You had him tied up down there?
That shot, I just didn't want to say anything.
Success is a funny thing. It's a slippery word, hard to pin down, and it can look different for all of us. But in my experience, the more I worry about it, the less of it I have. So, as best as I can, I'm turning a page. Here's to the journey, the people, the laughs along the way, and to simply having a damn good time.
Bow hunters are people who don't have enough to eat. That looks really nice. I like everything about that.